All right, good morning, everyone. This is my 100th episode of QuaranTEAtime with Celeste. I thought I would go live. It seems that 100 episodes is the time that my selfie lights decided to call it quits. At least the stand still works, but the lights died as of today, so I will no longer have my fancy lights. So today's QuaranTEAtime episode number 100. It is I started on March 23rd. I went to July 1st. And so I decided, I was racking my brain. And I'm like, what am I going to do to celebrate my 100th episode? How am I going to make this episode special in some regards? First of all, I wore this awesome piece, right? Really cool, awesome necklace. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, everybody. And secondly, I decided that when I started QuaranTEAtime, it was because everybody was panicked, myself included. I was very freaked out. All of my gigs, all of my work had been canceled. I needed to find something else to do. And I didn't want to be like laying in bed all day. And I still wanted to like get up and feel like myself and just go forward into the day. So I thought if I had a morning show every day at a time where I didn't feel too rushed or feel like I got too sleep deprived, then I would be able to get up, get ready, put on my wigs, put on an outfit, and do something positive to distract myself and others from what the heck is going on in this world, right? Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you. 100, who knew? When I started this, I really had no idea we'd get to 100 episodes. I thought it'll be 1 month, then it'll be done. One and done. I had no idea that this was going to keep going. It's not like it's something that's really taken off. It's not something that gets a lot of views. It's not something that even gets a lot of comments. In fact, most of the comments I get are, I like that hair. I like your wig today. I like your necklace. It's always really superficial. It's never really about the content of my shows. I wish you guys would listen to some of the shows. I've had some pretty good quotes, but I don't think I've had any reactions to the content of my shows. It's always been about people's opinions about my outfit for the day, which is fine because I know that I'm an unusual looking person. I usually change my hair more often than the average bear, and I wear a lot of crazy makeup, and I dress in different outfits every day or fancy jewelry. That's cool. That's great. But so I was trying to rack my brain, like, what am I going to do to celebrate 100 episodes of QuaranTEAtime? And I decided to tell you the top 10 things that have happened since I started QuaranTEAtime. The top 10 experiences I've had during the COVID-19 stay-at-home, lockdown, quarantine kind of time. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that were the best things that happened on each month. Okay? First of all, I am still drinking tea. Yes, I am. I thought I'd give you the both best of both. I've got the Sonoma Chardonnay iced tea. So this is my fake wine to celebrate. And then I've got my hot tea. I got hot tea. Yes, I have two teas. This is one of my favorites. This is the matcha toasted rice tea. Tea for breakfast. Okay. So let's talk about my top 10 experiences since COVID-19 began. Now, first of all, when I first began this episodes, I only gave the date and one quote by one person, and I basically drank tea. And it was under 1 minute. It was under a minute episode, and it was intended for Instagram. Well, I decided after, you can only quote, I was thinking about all my favorite people, I'd be like, oh, okay, today's a quote from Buddha, and tomorrow's a quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer, and all my favorite spiritual gurus. And so I was starting to run out of like people off the top of my head of who am I gonna quote today? So I started going on to Brainy Quote, and they have everybody listed by their birthdays. So I started looking up each day whose birthday it was, and then trying to find quotes that were positive or inspiring or uplifting. And so that was the first metamorphosis of QuaranTEAtime, is to create that. Then I added national days. So then I had the national days. So then my episodes stretched from 1 minute up to 5 minutes, and even as long as 10-minute long episodes. So they grew quite a bit. I like to talk. I talk a lot. I have a lot of stories. I have a lot of things to talk about, but I tried not to infuse too much of what I wanted to say and focus more on with the national days. I'm glad that you like my tea time. That's my thing. I've been debating, like, do I keep doing tea time or do I stop it? Is this the last episode or is this just going to keep rolling? So it's probably not the last episode. Don't worry. I'm going to keep doing this up. I'll figure it out. But anyway, so let's get back into my top 10. So March, when we started this whole thing. March 14th was the last gig that I had done, and I decided on the next weekend, since my gigs had all canceled, I would start doing virtual concerts and Celestegrams. This was my way to try to figure out how to survive, how to keep singing, how to keep remembering my repertoire, and don't forget my lyrics, and to keep some kind of momentum going. So that's my favorite thing about March was starting the virtual concerts and the Celestegrams and QuaranTEAtime and getting all of that amazing support. At the beginning, when I first started doing my streaming concerts, the tips were incredible. The tips, the support, the love, the people reaching out and saying, "I know you and Renee don't have any work. Here's a generous tip." It was amazing, and it really touched my heart, and it really meant a lot to me because I had zero income at that point. And so that was my biggest thing about March, was to start the virtual concerts and the Celestegrams and to see the support that came out and the love. And then the QuaranTEAtime. And that was something, it got me up, it got me dressed, it got me ready for the day. So that was the greatest things about March. April comes along. So April, it was rainy and it was cold, but it was also something very unique and unusual happened. We had an incredible red tide. Now, if you don't know, my wife and I live at the beach. We live in Oceanside and we live right on the beach. And from our front porch, you can see the ocean. We have a huge beach opening. So every single night we got to watch this incredible light show from the red tide. So for those of you that are just joining, these are my top 10 COVID-19 moments ever since I started QuaranTEAtime. So the red tide was a huge highlight for me in April. Also, on April 1st, something very strange happened. My parrot, Wazo, he was really antsy for me to sing, and he climbed up onto my music stand, which he never does, and he started yelling, "Mom, Mom, Mom," and he was being really annoying about it. And he's standing on my music stand and he's looking right at me and he's like, "Mom," and he's like, basically, "Get over here and sing. Get over here, sing for me." So I go over to do a live feed. I'm like, "Renee, we have to go. Wazo wants us to do a concert." So we do a live streaming concert. And it was like a Tuesday. And as soon as I get on, one of my friends says, this couple that I married, I was their officiant, I was their minister for their wedding. They get onto the live feed and they go and they say, "We are in the hospital. My wife is in labor with her child, and we're listening to you sing while she's in labor." And they requested their song that I sang for them when they got married. Now, this is Alessandra and Christy Silverberg. So the Silverbergs were in the middle having their baby, and then they tagged me in a video that they took of them dancing while I was singing on my live stream. So somebody else videoed them dancing and me singing live. So that was a really special moment. And I was like, oh, thank you to the parrot who knew that I should get up there and sing something. So I got to serenade them while they were in labor with their first child. So that was a really cool experience. And she was born Anna Gabriella Silverberg on 4/1 in 2020. So then May comes along. So now we're on May. In May, we did an art show for Renee. Now, and the other good thing was that in around May is when my pandemic unemployment insurance started kicking in, and I started making money actually, like, to be able to pay my rent. But at the beginning of May, we had an art showcase for Renee in her art studio, and it went crazy well. I mean, we sold out of her art, and Renee has had nonstop commissions ever since we did that streaming art show. So this is my top 10 gratitude list of great things that have happened to me and my home and my wife since COVID-19, since March. So that was in May. Renee's art showcase success story. She's been doing art nonstop. If you guys have seen her work, you know she's been busy, 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 busy. Thank you, Cynthia. That means a lot coming from you. Oh my gosh, we really admire your husband's work. He's so good. And so then also in May, on May 21st, because my wife and I were supposed to have gone on a cruise to Vancouver in April to celebrate our 15-year anniversary. Well, we mentioned that on Facebook, of course, and we said, man, we would have been on our cruise right now, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know. Anyway, so then our community members suggested that we have a drive-by anniversary. And on May 21st, our family and our friends and community members came by our house and drove by with signs wishing us a happy 15-year anniversary. Our neighbors came out to celebrate with us. People were really excited for us, and that was really special. That was really, really special. I still have all the posters and signs that people dropped off after they did their drive-bys. So it was really sweet and cool. Okay, so going into June, the next things that happened in June, in May, I have to tell you, my producers asked me to come back up to Hollywood and to start recording again. And I brought in this incredible harp player who's also a dear friend of mine, and her name is Candace Lavolsi Valentine. And she played with Merle Haggard. She played with Evanescence. We finished recording my album in May, and we brought this harpist in and we finished everything. And then in June, so now we just finished June, right? I finished my album. So artwork, the album, everything is done. That is super exciting. Anytime that for anybody who's not a musician or an artist, whatever, that's like having a child. Like, there's so much work, and it takes about 6 months or so to put all this work and energy and time into it. And then you create something and you put it out into the world, and it's just a beautiful feeling. Like, I made that. I did that. I created something beautiful. So, that is what we finished. We finished my album in June. Okay. Now, the next coolest thing that happened in June was my wife. We were both very inspired by the Black Lives Matter protests that all erupted after the George Floyd thing. As you saw, there was a major shift in June about my tea times. I started getting much more civil rights minded and talking more about those issues around that, and finding quotes that were relevant to governing and brutality and slavery and specifically focusing in on the Black experience on my quotes. And I really got a little bit more hyper vigilant about my opinions on civil rights. So my wife also was inspired, and she suddenly just created this power fist. I'll show it to you. It's sitting right next to me. She suddenly painted this. Like, she just, out of the blue, is painting this. She finishes it, puts it out on the deck to dry, and she's about to jump in the shower when I start hearing chanting of Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. And it was a huge, huge, huge group. I looked down the street, and on my street approaching was a sea of human beings, just a full-on ocean of love and people chanting Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe. And there was so much energy, just powerful, world-changing energy, that kind of energy that's ready for a shift, that revolutionary energy. And it was coming down right in front of my street. And as you can see, my eyes are already wearing, I started crying. I was so moved. And Renee goes and she grabs this painting that hadn't even dried yet, shoves it in my hands, and I hold it up, and I've got my fist up in solidarity, and I'm chanting along with everybody, and they're all just sending so much love up to us. And it was such a powerful, one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had in my entire life. It was so beautiful. So I have to say that was just one of the most profound experiences in my life. And I felt that energy when I look at her art. When you look at this, I don't know if you guys feel this, but in the original, when you're around the original painting, that energy was like thrown into that painting. It was so incredible. And And yeah, it sold really fast. And then other people commissioned her to do a fist for them as well. So she's done like I think 7 of these fists. Anyway, so there are all these beautiful, beautiful power fists. And then the title of this is Power in Unity. So this is about all coming together to stand for what is right. It's about standing together. Because the only thing that ever gets done is when we stand together. It's the only way to fix anything. Okay. So, okay, moving on. That was one of the most amazing experiences. Also in June, sorry, my eyes. Also in June, I was hired to do a Celestegram that was actually a marriage proposal for Stacy and Amanda out in Alabama. Oh my God, I've never met these ladies before. They've been following me on my fan page for a while. Stacy has been a long time internet fan, Facebook fan, but we've never met. And so I actually so Amanda hired me to sing a song to Stacy and then ask her to marry her. So I was the one that I delivered the proposal for them. And thank God she said yes. So she said yes. And then they actually asked me if I would come in and marry them and be part of their wedding in Georgia in Christmas. But I don't know if that's even possible right now. Oh, Belle, the energy. You know, the only protest marches that I've actually partaken in have been the Women's March, which I've done religiously every year since 2016. And just being around that kind of energy is amazing. But just to see the diversity that was involved in those Black Lives Matter marches, protests, to see white and brown and Black and Asian and just and all kinds of ages. Mostly it's younger people. Renee is kind of more of a sensitive person. She has asthma, so we haven't been able to go and like be around people. Okay, so I wanted to be in those protests a lot, but we just didn't want to take those risks to her life. And so, but it was the most amazing and incredible experience and then the marriage proposal was super incredible. It was amazing. Thank God she said yes. And now Stacy and Amanda are planning on getting married. So those are my top 10 kind of COVID-19 moments. And now the biggest thing for me right now that I have coming on is my CD release party. I can't believe it. So now that my album is done and the incredible album artwork, which my wife did the artwork on my cover of my new album, and it's awesome. It is so incredible. And then my friend Kaylee, she took photos of me and we juxtaposed a photo of me on top of my wife's art. And that's how we're creating the artwork on my new album. So my next album, Two Worlds, is done. And so the next best thing that's happening this year is I get to have a CD release party. And it was so hard for me to find a venue. As you guys can imagine, everything's closed. And I don't know if you guys know this, but today everything's closing up here in California again, bars, breweries, and any place that doesn't serve food because people aren't being careful. We had another big resurgence. It's not good. But anyway, so it was really tough for me to find a venue to perform, to do the CD release party. I was talking to Humphreys, but then they were like, we're not going to open in time. Because I really wanted it on July 11th, which is my wife's birthday. So 7/11. So now I actually have a CD release party planned. However, I can only have 28 people attend. So we've sold 15 of those tickets. So we have a few more tickets. I think it's actually 16. I think we have four of the VIP tickets and 8 of the other tickets left. But so now I have the CD release party going. I bought this necklace for the release party and this wig, by the way, which are all part of my theme. But I thought I would give you guys an early sneak peek at my CD release party look. So those are my top 10 things. I mean, it's easy to look at what you don't like in the world. You know, it's really easy to focus on the negativity. It's easy to focus on what you've been deprived of or what's been taken out of your life or removed from your life. But you have to also see that everything that happened, I mean, not everyone thinks like this, but me and Renee, we believe that everything happens for a reason. There's no coincidences, and that sometimes obstacles are removed, like Ganesha, that's what his power is, remover of obstacles, so that you can be more available and present and aware of other things that are going on. If we weren't all stuck at home when George Floyd was murdered, and we didn't all see that video of him saying he can't breathe and crying out for his mama, then we wouldn't have all been present and here for the Black Lives Matter protests. We wouldn't be here for this conversation. So COVID-19 opened some doors, and it really made some conversations available, and it's been really uncomfortable for a lot of people. A lot of people are having to confront how they feel about things and about how they act and the actions that they have, or their non-actions that they're not saying, their apathy towards situations. So there are a lot of blessings, okay? There's a lot of blessings in 2020. I know people love to bag on 2020 and say it's the worst year ever. I want a refund. And yeah, there's a lot of things that we are missing out on. We are missing out on all those barbecues and gatherings and birthday parties and other things that we might have partaken in. But you know, we have a lot to be grateful for. I'm grateful. I still have my home. I have so much love from my community. I have people that have been able to tip me. I have this, thank God for the CARES Act that's been able to pay my rent, being able to get the pandemic unemployment assistance right now. It's going to run out in July. I'm a little freaked out about that, but you know, everything, God takes care of everything. The universe works out the way that it's supposed to. I have faith, I have love, I have community, and I have gratitude for everything that has happened this year, even if it didn't go according to plan, because you know, we're right where we're supposed to be, whether we like it or not. This is where we're supposed to be, and this is what we're supposed to be doing. And we need to take a good look around and do what's right and what resonates in our soul to be right. QuaranTEAtime felt like the right thing to do, and I still get to use it as a platform to kind of insert my little opinions on stuff. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. I am on YouTube, actually. Yes. All of my 100 episodes are going to be uploaded to YouTube. I think I can download this one. It's a live feed, so it's a little different. I haven't really done live QuaranTEAtimes, but I really want to thank you guys. Thank all of you for following my journey and for being a part of this, and for those of you that have been able to remain positive and still continue putting out your creativity, continue putting out good energy, continue having conversations, continue supporting those that you may not be able to relate to directly, but you can still empathize with. For those of you that are celebrating all of the little things, like, you know, even though you're far away, celebrating our anniversary, celebrating birthdays, just celebrating that we're all still alive. And I want to send my love out to those of you that have lost somebody. We've lost several people during this time. It is very heartbreaking and tragic that you have to hear on Facebook that your friend or your family member has passed away and that you can't even have a celebration of life for them. That is devastating. That is heartbreaking. That is really difficult. But my love goes out to all of you. We are not suffering alone. This is one of the most unifying experiences that we've all endured together, not just as a community here in Southern California, not just Oceanside, not just California, not just the United States. We have a shared experience worldwide, and that is very profound. That's a very profound thing. So I feel so grateful for all of you, and that we have social media. I'm not super happy with Facebook these days. I'm not happy with some of the choices they're making with their algorithms and who they're choosing to support and getting politically involved. I'm not super happy with Facebook, but I'm grateful for it. I'm very grateful for it, because without the internet and without social media, we would be in a very lonely state right now. Very lonely state. And you guys, and it would be hard to find entertainment. There's just so many things to just count blessings. So thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching my 100th episode of QuaranTEAtime for Celeste. I found plenty of things to be grateful for these past few months. I hope you do too. I'd like you to, if you can write down a top 10 list of things that make you, that you're grateful for that have happened this year, I would love to read that. Share your favorite things about 2020 with me. And again, thank you so much for watching my show, for enjoying some tea with me, even for your comments on my looks every day. It's good to know. Oh, I hate that wig. Oh, I like that one. Oh, I like your makeup today. Oh, what'd you do? Even if you guys are not listening to my shows, I still appreciate that you're watching what you can, tuning in a little bit. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay in touch. Stay grateful. Okay, stay grateful for every little thing is a blessing. Even getting my nails done was a huge blessing to me. That was great. And being able to do a 100th episode is a blessing. So thank you guys so much. Oh yeah, Cynthia, I know. And it does happen every day. And then the numbers and the names and the people that has happened to goes on and on and on and on and on. And it was just time for everyone to wake up and pay attention and actually watch what's happening and go, this is a major, major issue. It's not one department. It's not just a few select police officers. It's a major issue that goes all over the whole country, and it needs to be addressed. So thank you for that, Cynthia. Absolutely. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Thank you, Megan. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today for my 100th episode. I'll see you tomorrow for 101, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I did, one of the blessings I also received was last month, I was a recipient of the SoCal Vocalist Relief Fund, which gave me a few $100s to help pay a couple bills, and because I'm an out-of-work vocalist, and as a return of appreciation for that, they have asked me to do a live streaming concert for them today. So actually, it's going to be streaming on Renee's page, but it's going to be streaming on the SoCal Vocalist Relief Fund page. So if you guys want to watch that episode, the theme, the motif for today is freedom. So they've asked me to select songs about freedom. So I've picked a few good songs I think you guys are really going to enjoy, from Mahalia Jackson to Nina Simone to Janis Joplin. So you're going to really like it so much. All right. So that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching my 100th episode.